small matters, but the scale of the loss is staggering. It's been 2 months since Congress gave them that money. Introduce me. Alan? Hey, good evening. Thanks so much for tuning in.
If he gets the beard this wet, you can't tell me otherwise.
Excuse me.
Denise isn't here. Let's go to her apartment. The body's been sent to split right after she got a call from someone who's found.
Everybody's saying the world's flat, Charles. Irie said that, Shaq said
This test campaign has spanned over 3.5 years.
First, 50,000 U.S. high school students and their professional mentors.
For their participation.
It pushes to a whole new level. It's going to make us think outside the box more.
I think it's amazing. I think every year it gets harder and it challenges the students more and more.
About learning to work with others in a team environment in the spirit of cooperation.
They're all expected to work together and help each other find.
And not really getting mad at each other for anything.
It's high energy here in Cleveland, Ohio. Over 100 high school students received their assignment, robot, in only 6 weeks. March 22nd through 24th at the Wolstein Center in Cleveland, Ohio.
Really, the whole purpose is to get kids at high and other ages involved and inspired to do science.
Be a rocket scientist or something like that. If you like working hard and trying new things.
Don't be intimidated.
12 high school student teams from Alabama and Tennessee received materials for building their robots, a control system, a small personal computer, and a mix of automation components. But no instructions. Within 6 weeks. Placed in March.
Something makes it real.
Various water landing scenarios.
Yeah. At least that's what they tell us. Imagine we live on a flat. All this time we thought we lived on a round planet, huh? We have no evidence to believe that we're on a round planet, only by people telling us, but we really don't know. Yeah. At least that's what they tell us. Imagine we live on a flat, right? If that should tell you it's true, you believe it, right?
The Northern Lights.
Yeah. At least that's what they tell us. Imagine we live on a flat.
They look like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There.
Yeah. At least that's what they tell us. Imagine we live on a flat.
Is the North Pole. Where are the elves? Where are they? They are gathering in the center. Exactly. Columns of 2. 1, 2.
Yeah. At least that's what they tell us. Imagine we live on a flat.
Question. What about him? No one is required.
Every single beat across the solid heart of
We're also out of coffee.
Level with you all, level with you all, level with you all, level with you all.
Would you like some coffee? My opinion, there are three things that made all of this possible.
Level with you all.
Coffee. Wait, enhance. Yep, coffee.
Back. I would love to spend a year in space. That, I can honestly say, I don't miss anything from planet Earth, not being a creature on planet Earth anymore.
Do not believe you that you can get.
Will not work in a weightless environment. I guess you could stick your tongue down there, kind of like a butterfly drinking nectar out of a flower or something, but our tongue isn't long enough.
Right. I kind of start talking about really hot liquid sloshing around your face.
The NASA engine
From a bag. It's a travesty, really.
Level with you all.
I can't even.
perhaps 70% of the effect of a cup of coffee. I've got it right here. And this is a zero gravity cup.
Level with you all.
Is an example of something that you do not realize how important that ritual is or how common it is in your daily routine until you can no longer do it.
Don has a patent on this cup, proving the space cup design on other missions.
This is generation 2. The shape of this.
Okay.
There's no art in this at all.
Generation 1.
That's generation 2.
Generation 2.
This is generation 3. The skills that my mother taught me to slip cast porcelain these zero-G cups.
Finally, it's good enough for the Museum of Modern Art. Don's cups is now in their collection. It was donated by Italian astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti.
If you understand your science correctly and then you do your engineering to make something useful from your science, it should have an artistic measure to it. You go into the frontier and you make an observation and it's like, whoa, I have no idea why that happened.
And that's where science gets done, like Miniverse. Miniverse is brought to you by another astronaut, Chris Hadfield. He was the guy doing that cool washcloth water experiment on the space station that you just saw. Chris takes you on a road trip across our solar system, only scaled down to the continental United States, so no spaceship required. That yesterday's coffee is tomorrow's coffee, because they recycle their pee to make their drinking water. So, coffee.
I'm doing, and that is brewing coffee in space.
Level with you all.
And so I have a pot of coffee here, bottom of the cup. How awesome is that? That is fresh brewed coffee. And that works amazingly well. All right, so you can see just because of the geometry of this cup, surface tension is carrying this fluid, this coffee, up right up to the lip. That is awesome.
I always have coffee when I watch Radar. You know that.
Of course I do, sir.
Everybody knows that.
Of course we do, sir.
Now that I have my coffee, I'm ready to watch Radar. Where is it?
Right here, sir.
Hello and welcome to Open Science. I'm Dr. Marshall Porterfield from NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C.
People don't understand that a lot of the forces that we see on the ground are the same in space. Those actually don't change. But what does change is the impact of gravity. So with less gravity, then we start seeing small forces that we're not accustomed to dominating the fluid process. So we see giant spheres of liquid, we see giant bubbles, we see liquid going to places where they're not used to seeing. They see this absence of an up or down kind of thing, floating or sinking. Those things all go away, and so that catches us by surprise. And so there's really a lot to learn to make systems work in space.
So how has what you have learned in your research program contributed to the development of a more reliable spacecraft?
Bubbles plugging lines or liquid spilling and going someplace they shouldn't be, that kind of a thing. So as soon as we learn how to position and make fluids do things on their own using surface tension and not, say, gravity, then we learn how to expect where the liquid should be so that we can make refrigeration systems work, make filter systems work, make cooling systems work, make drinking systems actually work, that kind of thing.
Coffee cup.
And you can learn a lot of that stuff on the ground too, but in space you see it on a big scale. With that, we can make a cup large enough to still exploit capillary forces so that when the astronaut brings it to his face, there's a gradient in the driving force from surface tension to drive that liquid right into the mouth of the astronaut. So but when the astronaut makes that connection, that serves as the bottom and it will drain the cup into his mouth at the rate that he or she takes it in.
Yeah, the video of seeing the astronauts use the coffee cups and the drinking process is very interesting. I'm sure that the audience is really going to enjoy getting a chance to see those videos also. But in addition to the coffee cup, your research has contributed to development or the modification of other hardware systems that are very important on the International Space Station. Can you give us some examples of that?
Right. So in the coffee cup actually has a lot of science in it and engineering too. So if we can design a system, for instance, for processing urine or processing wastewater other streams or condensing streams of water by just having a simple, maybe it's a complex shape, so that you could actually have a significant savings if you use something like a cup. And this last demonstration is, hey, you can have scalding drinks in open containers safely, just like you do around your coffee with your coffee cup around your laptop in the morning.
That is awesome.
Thank you, Mark. Drinking coffee in a work environment is an important part of life on Earth. And because of your work, now it's possible off the Earth as well. To learn more, go to
Morning Joe recently got an upgrade. On April 20th, SpaceX delivered to the space station a new microgravity coffee machine named ISS Espresso. Our aerospace engineers have designed a coffee maker that can function in microgravity conditions, says David Avino of the Italian engineering firm Argotec.
Coffee cup.
Working together with the coffee company Lavazza and the Italian Space Agency, we have brought authentic Italian espresso onto the International Space Station. No one wants to drink Italian espresso from a plastic bag, however. What astronauts need is a zero-G coffee cup. Fortunately, 6 of these wonders have been delivered to the space station as well.
Coffee cup.
Fluid physicist Mark Weislogel of Portland State University and IRPI LLC, who helped invent the cups, explains why they are necessary. Coffee out, or you could throw it out of the cup and suck down the scalding blob that forms in the air. No thanks.
Coffee cup.
The zero-G coffee cup solves these problems by going with the flow, by the combined effects of your mouth, the wetting conditions of the fluid, surface tension, and the particular shape of the cup. This oddball cup wouldn't work on Earth, but it is a marvel in space.
Coffee cup.
Operation of many critical space station systems, air conditioning, refrigerators, toilets, cryogenic fuel tanks, medical treatments, the water supply, and everything else that involves liquids depends on the ebb and flow of fluids.
Coffee cup.
En route to Mars, he adds. Compared to those other systems, coffee is not in the critical path of operation, says Weislogel. Try telling that to the astronauts about 5:30 tomorrow morning. For updates from the International Space Station, go to www.
Advertisement. That's it. Forget about the Russians. We're doing an advert for Tiger Brand coffee. Tiger Brand coffee is a real treat. Even tigers prefer a cup of it to real milk.
Took everything about me and put it into a computer where they created this model of my mind. Yes, using that model. Hey, 10 years.
What would happen then? We may live to find out. Again, all of this probably strikes you as wild-eyed craziness, flat Earth stuff.
Lately, there's been so much talk about flat Earth versus round Earth, and whether which one is true or false, or why does it even matter. So, Today we're going to address this controversy, and this is going to be a response to my video that I'd done a week ago about planets and how they do not exist. And like I said, I will continue to do more segments on the flat Earth, truth, and the round Earth lie. But some people say, flat Earth, round Earth, flat Earth, round Earth. Why does it matter? What is the big deal? Why does it matter? Which one? Does it matter at all? And today I'm going to end the controversy because it does matter.
Took everything about me and put it into a computer where they created this model of my mind. Yes, using that model. Hey, 10 years.
Because as you can see,
took everything about me and put it into a computer where they created this model of my mind. Yes, using that model. Computer. 10 years. Created this model of my mind. Yes, using that model. Hey, 10 years.
100 nautical miles. This is where you're gonna find your holy grail. You're gonna drink from the living waters and bathe yourself like you're baptized in this mythical shit. It's real. Where the aurora borealis is shooting out, every compass points to it. There's literally no way to screw it up.
know it's a flat, right?
Of course it's flat. Sure, I know the world is flat.
Well, so do I. Everybody knows that.
Good, good. What town, sir?
What town? Why, that's easy. Now, there's the whole flat world as we know it.
For the time being, pretend you're a British parent, reject it, plus flatten the curve. It's a phrase you've probably heard a lot this week, plus flatten the curve. And what it means is basically this, plus flatten the curve.
Plus flatten the curve.
For the time being, pretend you're a British parent, reject it, plus flatten the curve. It's a phrase you've probably heard a lot this week, plus flatten the curve. And what it means is basically this, plus flatten the curve.
Plus flatten the curve.
What is the most remarkable thing you've ever seen?
That's another tough one. I mean, there's many beautiful and remarkable things to see when you look out the cupola. I guess so far for me, I like the waters, the shallow waters of the other part of the ocean and the islands is just magnificent. It's just so beautiful for me.
Yeah, the Maldives. Hey, this is Dave from.
Hey, Dave. Excuse me.
In the Caribbean or the atolls in southeast Pacific, or the atolls in southeast Pacific, in the Caribbean or the atolls in southeast Pacific, comes up against the dark blue of the other part of the ocean. The atolls in southeast Pacific are just beautiful. There's this blue, this aqua that comes up against the dark blue.
Some ownership and really to be studying gravity on the moon, of how the moon's gravity is working on the Earth.
Orbit around the moon since New Year's Day, collecting data of the moon. More about the moon, from crust to core, thus providing a better understanding of its origin. Ladies and gentlemen, that will feature Space Shuttle Atlantis, in a hangar at KSC, scheduled to open in 2013.
Creativity between JPLers. Now, local middle schools first started 14 years ago, and the student teams outnumbered JPL teams 3-1.
Carrier and into a can. Simple. We'll see how simple it is.
Each team got 3 tries in a minute.
Simple it is.
Each team got 3 tries in a minute. Team got 3 tries in a minute to kick a football into the trash can, and 10 points if it bounced inside the circle around the can.
All right, contestant ready.
Specific data than Apollo 11 and 12 combined. And
Hello Scotland, and welcome on board the International Space Station. I've enjoyed celebrating Hogmanay on many occasions in Scotland, and as much as I'd love to be down there with you celebrating this evening, I think this year I found the perfect place to see in 2016. So to everybody in Scotland, I hope you're having a great evening and have a very happy Hogmanay.
To me, a frontier is a place where your normal intuition no longer applies. The answers are not in the back of the book, and you're going to have to figure things out for yourself. And this makes an environment that's rich in discovery. It makes an environment where the things you learn are going to tickle your imagination and enrich your mind, and then you share them with everybody on Earth, and that is the value of going into these frontiers. And another feature of a frontier is that once you start answering questions, you will find that the very questions you asked to begin with were not the right questions that needed to be asked in the first place. And this character is what's going to keep human beings from becoming a fossil layer eroding out from some hillside on planet Earth. And we won't become dinosaurs. Because after all, if the dinosaurs explored the space, if they colonized other planets, they would still be alive today.
Where is the curvature? Where?
Hey, listen, I know you would love this since you're gonna be rapping and shit. You still rap?
Yeah, I just dropped a project the other day called El Capo.
No rapper know this shit. I'm gonna put you on some shit because I really like this now.
Yeah.
At least that's what they tell us. Imagine we live on a flat. All this time we thought we lived on a round planet, huh? We have no evidence to believe that we're on a round planet, only by people telling us. But we really don't know, right? If that shit tell you it's true, you believe it, right? You know when they'll send those little ships up to Mars and shit, and they land and they dig into Mars? Yeah, all this diamond. That's crazy. Put that in your rap.
That's travel. So now we could get inside this shit, take off, and it's going to land right here. Flight 233 off, and it's going to land right here. Flight 233.
Yeah. At least that's what they tell us. Imagine we live on a flat. All this time we thought we lived on a round planet, huh? We have no evidence to believe that we're on a round planet, only by people telling us, but we really don't know, right? If that shit tell you it's true, you believe it, right?
This new flat world platform is this: iron rule of the flat world. Whatever can be done will be done, because so many people now have so much communication done. If YouTube can be done, what a great flat world story.
We will have 3 bases at the moon.
Composed of 3 second-generation exploration modules.
It is at Shackleton Crater, moon. One at the far side where...
Trajectory. The S1L1 trajectory is a heliocentric orbit that uses gravity assists at both Earth and Mars to minimize the number of propulsive maneuvers necessary.
This boost vehicle will be launched to low Earth orbit. After this, 3 human landers will be launched and docked separately with a boost vehicle.
Module and another module to serve as the medical bay.
That is my objective.
But it's not a matter of being technically infeasible. It's a matter of having the will to do it.
The reason we want to go to Mars, actually it's for fundamental biological reasons.
How our Earth is so valuable. They took pictures of the Earth from the moon. They had the famous picture called Earthrise, and they realized that every human being that they knew were on that and nowhere else, and nowhere else, and nowhere else. And I think that it's a point of view, it's the perspective that we really do need to guarantee nowhere else. And there are dangers out there. Are they immediate? We don't know.
Everything we do, there's tremendous challenge. There are always people that says you cannot do it. Passion in what they want to do. So I do.
Whether we hope we do. I hope we do. To commit to humans permanently, something local and then coming back. To commit. We do.
You wouldn't believe the stuff my dad had to do to get his hands on his dream machine. You name it.
We do.
You do it. Here's my dream machine, the new Cutlass Supremes. And all I had to do to get one was go to my old dealer.
The Masonic Chip program uses modern police-approved techniques to create a child identification kit.
And we take fingerprints. We also provide them with a swab for getting a DNA swab. And we also provide them with imprint where they can get an imprint of the child's teeth. So not only does it provide DNA as well as a swab, but it is also a source if you were using tracking dogs to provide a scent for the child.
You may be surprised to see who we found using tricks to cover up their license plates.
Apparently, they're law enforcement.
You know, in Hollywood and in the industry and the stuff we do, there's a lot of like insider secrets to keeping your career going, and a lot of insider secrets to making things tick.
This way is sticky, and so it's they're put together. That way we could sort of work on a flat plane, sort of like a little bit of a cover. We don't fly all over the place, but you know, you can.
I started to question things like my own beliefs and my own existence. Like, how does this work? What is the mind? There's this voice that keeps saying shit. What is the truth? What do I know? Am I the body or am I the soul? If I was to die, where would I go? Do I even matter if this is how it goes? But when I woke up, you know what I realized? I am the soul, and this body is just my vehicle. And with that awakening came so much.
How would you like it if someone told you the truth?
Information about the system.
He says the earth is definitely flat. Here is my guess.
Self-control, not even a remote chance to get programmed or deceive no more. You start to do some research. That's researching what you think you know when you find out that the earth is actually not a spinning globe. What the fuck are you saying? You sound sort of insane, but it's true, we live on a planet, flat and stationary. The truth will set you free, won't go back to that mental celling. Now I live my life in peace, which back then couldn't do if you paid me. Realize, there's realize and realize. Don't be surprised, we'll find the truth real deep inside. When I see the sky, the sun, the moon, they seem alive. Wish I I could fly, so I could see my home with no CGI.
Tactical error, crack like a mirror. Eric Dubé bringing lyrical terror. Hate speech Al-Qaeda, but my rhymes are tighter. I rap for the masses, tracks full of classics. Masterful, plastered with factual fanfare. Banned, but I'm back to attack with a fair share. Crap that I can't bear, cause I'm a Care Bear. Where is the justice? We need a comeuppance. 19.5 billion per year is what we pay them just to hear. We're spinning right round the Milky Way, waiting on the sun to die one day. But that isn't happening, that is inaccurate. Stick to the facts, not fear-mongering rocket. Masons are liars, NASA are masons. Masons that lie like they're snakes in the garden. The sun isn't dying, your soul is immortal, and so is the solace of solar return. You will ever remember in embers and flames the end of December dismemberment plan. It's a good band. By the way, watch what they say. Everything your government tells you is fake, especially anything about outer space. The only thing they could ever make I would rate is every politician's fucking head on a plate. But we're probably never gonna see that day, cause everybody's living in the rainbow way, with no real man left, cause they've all turned.
Realize
it's called real good engineering.
Find the truth real deep inside. When I see the sky, the sun, the moon, they seem alive. Wish I could fly, so I could see my home with no CGI. Realize there's realize and realize. Don't be surprised. Find the truth real deep inside. When I see the sky, the sun, the moon, they seem alive. Wish I could fly, so I could see my home with no CGI.
Well, I think, the duration it's going to take to get there is somewhere, probably around the 6-month, flight, and it depends on orbital mechanics and how much
propulsion you want to use and the technology. But, from that perspective, I think it's pretty similar. Also, the life support system we have up here is, something that we're going to need to go to Mars, and I think we do a good job in demonstrating that we have that capability. So, with the exception of what you do when you get on the surface and entering into Martian atmosphere and the return from the surface, I think there are a lot of similarities. Having to get all the training that we need in order to do the repairs that we have on station, and to really have the mindset to be able to be in an enclosed space for a long duration of time with other crew members, to be prepared for that will definitely be something that's a part of the MR. See the Earth and, all its beauty at, different times of day. It's sometimes it's during the day, sometimes it's night. I don't think something that people really appreciate is that when you're going to Mars, you're in sunlight all the time. Every time you look out the window, it's not like you're going to see stars. You're going to see nothing because the sun is going to be so bright on your whole trip there. So, after a few days and you can no longer see Earth, it's going to feel like you're really out in the middle of nowhere. Is the ability to leave. So even though this is an amazing place and it's a privilege to get to fly in space, you never get to go outside. You're not leaving, and that's something that the folks going to Mars are going to experience too. The one difference is, in an emergency, we can go home and we can be there pretty quickly if we really had to. I think the other big difference is going to be our ability to communicate with folks on the ground. It's a real advantage we have both, operationally and from a personal level to be able to get on the phone and call people. But, pretty soon after we depart for Mars, you're going to get a time delay in communication such that it's not going to be usable. So, that's going to play a big, big impact on the psychology of the trip. When you start a mission like this, a 5-month mission or a year mission like Scott's doing, and for those crew members that will eventually go to Mars, I think you start out with a mindset that you start out with, you anticipate kind of what the challenges are going to be, and I think one of the things that I've experienced up here that surprised me a little bit is really how adaptable the human brain and psychology is. I think that you adapt to the conditions and quickly normalize to them. So the fact that communications will be a little bit delayed, I think you're still going to treasure that opportunity to talk with friends and family, even though there is a little bit of a delay. And I think that you're going to have this long trip that's really kind of set in your mind already. And so
research, the flat Earth platform, a competitive edge in the world, and be on the forefront of new ideas. And basically, the research, the flat Earth, is a new idea to some. The flat Earth research, the flat.
Thank you very much.
He basically said, I want you to go sell LNG like the world looks flat. Go get this done. Here's what he said when I was sitting in his office getting interviewed back in December of 2016. He said, Perry, here's what I want you to do like the world looks flat. Go get this done. Here's what he said when I was sitting in his office like the world looks flat. He basically said like the world looks flat. Go get this done. Here's what he said when I was sitting in his office getting interviewed back in December of 2016. He said, Perry, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go get this done. Here's what he said when I was sitting in his office. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to. How dare you? Go do. How dare you? What we've done. He basically said, "Gee, like the world looks flat."
Waka waka.
What? The Earth is flat.
Fighters even sent out a warning on Twitter afterwards. Well, he finally did it. Flat Earther Mike Mad Hughes finally blasted off in his homemade rocket. Driver spent years building the steam-powered rocket and meant to launch it last November. But the 61-year-old had to redesign his baby after big government stepped in. Between that and technical trouble, the launch date had to be forced back. So he blasted himself 1,875 feet above the Mojave Desert. Minutes later, 2 parachutes helped the rocket land with a thud some 1,500 feet from the launch site. Mike still thinks he needs to just get higher to prove the Earth is flat. He's got good brains. So stay tuned.
And it's another beautiful day in paradise, folks. But don't forget to buckle up out there in Radioland. Remember, good driver, good driver, good driver.
I remember this.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember this tweet.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm there and I said, angle of this, how long has it been? So I checked the stadium on its configuration, what's longitude and latitude, and I said, I did a quick calculation, and I tweeted. The winning field goal in that game was aided by a 1/3 of an inch deflection to the right from Earth's rotation. 1/3 of an inch deflection to the right from Earth's rotation. 1/3 of an inch deflection to the right from Earth's to the right from Earth's rotation.
Very good.
1/3 of an inch deflection to the right from Earth's rotation.
Oh.
1/3 of an inch deflection to the right from Earth's rotation. Third of an inch deflection to the right from Earth's rotation.
Oh.
George is pretending that the bouncy ball is the moon.
What was going through your mind? How amazed were you to see your roadster up there with Starman just cruising along with the blue planet? And
low atmospheric occlusion, low atmospheric occlusion, low atmospheric occlusion, low atmospheric occlusion.
An idea that changed everything. An elevated world. Inspiring transportation systems flat.
A new chapter in space exploration. NASA's Artemis mission is about to begin. Tonight, its next generation spaceship with the world's most powerful rocket is on the launch pad at the Kennedy Space Center, ready for the test flight that will pave the way for humans to return to the moon for the first time in 50 years.
With the story. So last month, President Biden and I unveiled the first photographs taken by the James Webb Space Telescope. I think we were all just in awe. I was sharing with some of the friends that when I first saw those photographs, I had a very intellectual response, which was wow.
Wow.
ABC News exclusive. Astronaut Buzz Aldrin is suing his own children, saying they're trying to steal his money by claiming he has dementia.
And I will forever be trying to patch it up.
His children say that they are saddened by the unjustified lawsuit and hope they can resolve the situation.
The clone skirt, cuz whoop. Use your common sense. Why is NASA part Department of Defense? They divided up the seas into 33 degrees, feeding kids masonry. Bro, be careful what you read. Flatline, flatline.
I mean, since we're off the rails here, we might as well go crazy town, G. Kamala Harris attempts to speak to astronauts in space. Roll it, G.
So a space cadet speaking to astronauts.
Station Houston, please use the handheld mic for Space Ground 2.
Life, isn't it? What's your advice for our students?
Well, I think that
And just as the Vice President was asking her question, we passed out of range of our tracking and data relay satellite system.
Burn the planet to a cinder. How's that for your ultimate weapon?
How on earth are they going to receive the message? Well, there are other ways.
Yeah, I thought the Gazette would have made more of yesterday's protest.
Yeah, well, they report what they want to report.
Well, it was a pretty big deal.
Question is, who owns the media?
Oh, careful there, mate.
I don't know. Who does?
Well, that's the point. They don't want you to know. The media, banks, big business, they're all in it together, a secret global cabal.
And who exactly is this secret global cabal?
Well, they ain't from Cleveland.
Bill Nye, what is global warming? Is it real?
I think it's real. I'm sure it's real. It's where we have put so many greenhouse gases, so many molecules of greenhouse gases.
We being man.
Humans, extra ones, that the speed that the world is getting warmer is getting really fast.
So, that's bad. Why? That's bad. For a couple reasons. The weather around the world is going to change. Then you use a clip from Inconvenient Truth where ice caps are melting and that fresh water flows into the sea. That upsets the flow of so-called thermohaline or salt heat.
Bill Nye.
Die of preventable and curable diseases. And yet we're concerned that sometime far in the future, a few 100,000 people, maybe a few million people at most, might suffer in some unknown way.
The truth is that it is indeed a fact. We've got a very big IPCC. The interest is a process, and we're learning more every day. Scientists are very much trying to keep up.
But the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC report, which comes out Friday, is pretty compelling. And as you know, I'm a member of the advisory board of the Union of Concerned Scientists, and I find my colleagues pretty compelling, much more so than his view is a minority on a scale that's impressive. It's probably 100,000 to 1 or so, scientists versus him.
Richard,
but I don't want to get it to be a personal attack.
I said that Larry asked me about fresh water.
Have you ever heard of a thing called fluoridation? Fluoridation of water?
Talk about the stuff that's been going on.
I'm mad about this country's educational system. You see, there's all kinds of incredible facts that the powers that be have conveniently left out.
Man on the moon.
We copy you down, Eagle.
So I've come here tonight against the government's will to inform you of the facts that have been kept from you.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. Thank you. You're looking good here.
What?
Okay, we're going to be busy for a minute. Right away, Houston. Vector good.
My name is Alan Alden, and I've got a secret. In a nanosecond. We don't have the technology to do that anymore. Destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process. My name is Alan Alden, and I've got a secret.
Once again, that's what I'm doing, guys. People are editing up on YouTube. How to edit up on YouTube, and that's what up on YouTube.
Alright, let's try this out. Here's something I wrote, telling the story.
Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind.
The world she's around. She's flat. Look, King, she's around like the apple. She's flat like the pancake. Pasta fazool. She's around, she's a firm, she's a fully packed. She's around like my head.
About the flat Earth. Let's just talk about this because I've referenced the flat Earth so that the Earth is flat. I feel like this, even though I'm not going to try and convince you to believe that the Earth is flat on this channel. So here's the deal, all right? So become the best version of yourself possible, the best man that you can be. Click the bell so you get about the flat Earth. Let's just, I did this video. Some of you said, well, John, do you believe that the Earth is flat? Are you like, I guess the Earth is flat. Okay, now, and that the flat Earthers are wrong. No, on the flat Earth versus the round Earth, I'm probably at like a 95% certainty. Maybe these flat Earthers are right. Reality. So again, you know, if we go back to the flat Earth, it's flat, but you should have some pretty good arguments for it, and you should look at the other side. Not that something like this even matters. It's not even worth your time. I did this video to really invest a lot of time in this, but if you were to go and you were to just look up evidence for flat Earth, okay, that is going to say that the Earth is flat. If you believe what the authorities are telling you just blindly, then you're a fool.
You people are as loud as you are ignorant. Now get back on your turnip trucks and go home. I assure you that we did in fact evolve from filthy monkey men.
I cannot speak for you, sir, but my ancestors were not monkeys. And I remind you that evolution is merely a theory, like gravity or the shape of the Earth.
To observe phenomena. No, they can't observe. It's too far away. It's too theoretical. How do we know what they're saying is true? You know what it really is? It's all science fiction.
I've got some news for you. It's gonna shock you, so you better sit down. Listen very carefully. The Earth is flat, gentlemen.
No description can equal this. Wait.
This is nuts!
Oh,
This is, Holy hell. God.
Weightlessness.
Some tunes?
And now for something completely different.
Hello, glad to see you again. This being the last show of the series, we've decided to devote it to a question and answer period.
Take your name so long. Take your name so long. Take your name so long.
Going on, Dennis, I'm right here. What do you want to talk about, bro? Just throw it out at me here. I must have missed you before, but I'll take a look, try to keep an eye on your questions. Anyway, so we never got a question there. Oh, here.
This domed ceiling. And I didn't know where I was. It was a little frightening at first. I don't have an easy explanation for that. I could make up one, but it's not from the benefit of research. I thought it was a hoax. I said before sort of because it's fun to do. Is I have to ask myself, where can I do best for NASA? Where can I do best? But as head of NASA, you know, Johnson Space Center and Kennedy's
Lincoln.
Multi-headed beast that's there. And you got to tame it and drive it all into a direction so that it's all coherent. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do, and they do. PPP do in the purpose of NASA. NASA subjects are major recurring themes within it. I have a TV show. NASA.
Chan, I think you're getting all upset about nothing. Don't try to make me feel better, because it won't work.
NASA subjects are major recurring themes with NASA on PBS, of course. And so NASA.
Look. Why worry about something now that won't happen for
NASA. Who am I to him, other than just someone with ambition? And to this day, I remembered then, I said to myself, if I am ever in a position of influencing others the way he's influencing me, I'm going to do that. And so I can now do that. I'm going to do that. What surrounds them that forces them to think about how the world works. I'm going to do that.
I didn't think about it that way. No sense in crying about it now. I'll be happy while I still can. And maybe, just maybe, I won't grow up to look like that.
Look, this is not...
No, yes, no, yes, yes, no. But today I'm going to tell you no, yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes.
There is.
On the counter.
SPACECOM will soon be followed, very importantly, by the establishment of the United States Space Force. 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 Space Force.
Then, by continuing their quest for knowledge, their struggle against limits, by continuing to push toward the far frontier.
Mr. President, would you have liked to have made a bigger commitment to the space program in terms of money for the future than you have?
Try to do all that's possible against problems. Space Force. Space Force. This program is the highest priority.
We're not only getting our money's worth, our commitment to space has been one of the best investments we've ever made.
Space Force.
On those early Mercury missions. We were part of the NASA team launching probes into deep space to chart the unknown.
In all our space endeavors, and next, for the new century, back to the moon, back to the future, and this time, back to stay.
Clearly, the natural extensions of the space program which began a generation ago. The direct descendants of the dreams of the three men we are here to honor today.
By 2020, as the launching point for missions beyond. Beginning no later than 2008, we will send a series of robotic missions to the lunar surface to research and prepare for future human exploration.
Buzz has been there. There's a lot more of space to explore and a lot more to learn when we do. So I believe it's more important to ramp up our capabilities to reach and operate at a series of increasingly demanding targets while advancing our technological capabilities with each step forward. And that's what this strategy does. And that's how we will ensure that our leadership in space is even stronger in this new century than it was in the last.
Politicians who are all talk and no action, constantly complaining, but never doing anything about it.
Space exploration 50 years ago. As you will hear, in these recommendations, we will call on NASA not just to adopt new policies, but to embrace a new mindset.
We do.
It's hard to breathe. You go from 3 Gs to 0 Gs. Your level, you have this tremendous force pressing down on your chest, and then suddenly, your level of 3 Gs through the chest. Fun. At that moment, the engines have stopped. Your troubles are over. You don't through the chest. Fun. At that moment, the engines have stopped. Your troubles are over. You don't have to worry about anything bad happening. You're in space now.
Apollo found some macadamia nuts and decided to test orbital mechanics and also at the same time test his skill and coordination.
Trying to fly at the same time. So all this stuff is going on while you're trying to fly at the same time.
Isn't it weird that every space documentary, all the series, I had them all, Joe had them all, we watch them all the time.
Beyond Venus, 93 million miles from the sun, is Earth. Its great oceans forming the clouds and air currents which warm and irrigate the planet.
I thought about space, and every now and then I'd watch all that and wonder, what? This is all cartoons.
And every now and then I think to myself, it's weird that we're not watching any actual footage of space. It's all CGI.
All DVDs on space are all CGI. There's nothing real. And everyone watches that, they believe it, the narration is all programming. What's above us and what we're on, we're being lied to.
Don't we have Hubble? Why don't you point it at the Earth and get some awesome shots of where we live? All the pictures and images from space are CGI. None of them are real.
We haven't gone past that. What, are you telling me that that's okay? We could just gloss over that? And they admit that they're all CGI, except for one in 1972, which is fake. They have one picture. They say one is real, 1972. All the rest is CGI. Like of Earth from space. I want to see a picture. I want to see tens of thousands of them. I want here in the moon over there. There's people should have posts all over the world. People should have these epic pictures of the Earth from space with the moon over here and the sun over there and the planets. There's none. NASA. Wernher von Braun was the director of all 6 moon missions. And that, not a comic book? Comic book.
My fellow Nastanos, I am sorry to say I am leaving you to join the elite.
Operation Paperclip.
In the United States of America.
Operation Paperclip. My people in Germany, all they want is freedom and peace.
We want to welcome you to the US of A. We must divert their attention.
I'm going to make so much. It's crazy. To brainwash a nation, we will need animation.
I want to bring my technology of airplane models.
I want to work with Walt. I want to see the best people.
We need to get the indoctrination started.
If people believe an airplane can go to the moon, we might be able to do it. To brainwash a nation,
I will need help.
We will need animation. Please bring in the United States of America. Action.
People will fall for it.
People must know. And the heavens declare the glory of God in his firmament. Showeth his handiwork.
The people must know.
The people have to know.
The world was flat.
Facts, the truth.
Sorry.
I sense a boom in the offing.
whole town. We're trapped. Because we live in a dome. Planet Earth we're all under the dome. Because so far as we know, this little tiny blue world is all we've got. Under the dome is a research. The dome is do. Under the dome is under the dome. Those are the people. Those are the people. Do. See. Those are the people. The dome. Under the dome are doing. The characters doing. The characters under the dome are doing. The characters doing. The characters do. Was it difficult to edit under the dome for doing? The characters are full. And you know, that's not such a bad thing. To do. And under the dome. Under the dome.
Politicians who are totally dedicated to the idea of they know best what should happen to the people that are underneath them. And a lot of times, they're pretty stupid about it.
Under the dome. Once the dome is not the dome anymore, I'm not sure what you would do. Outside the dome? Over the dome? No, it doesn't work for me. To do. Last question. Jules asks, what kind of message do you think Under the Dome will send to its fans? Well, to do. Then that would make you spend some time away from your television set, Jane, and enthralled as well. To do. But to do. Both of them do. Both of them do have a serious subtext, and it's the idea that we all live under the dome. We're all on planet Earth, and we're not going anywhere. Not in the next 100 years or so, anyway, unless something happens like to do, light speed drive, and we have diminishing sources to do. Under the Dome Monday.
You've probably seen the memes for it. Things like Globies believe that people in Australia are hanging upside down from the ceiling, or cruise ships on the equator are sat sideways and don't magically fall off. Because they think, well, people in Australia on a globe should fall off into oblivion. Except, here's a demonstration for any flat earthers watching, because here is a ball, right? Just a plain blue plastic ball. Look at a picture of the Earth and work out which way is which, and saw Earth for the first time. What they perceived as being top or bottom of the Earth would depend on what way they were spun when they arrived.
So it's not actually a sphere, it's an...
Well, why the big secret? People are smart, they can handle it.
The person is smart, people are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
It won't rain anymore, and if it doesn't rain, that means that this is all the water I'll be able to collect in this pitcher. Wow.
Flat. Still water is always level.
That way we could sort of work on a flat plane. You can follow me if you want. But you know, you can sleep. The reason I'm bringing that up is because of us sleep. Hello, I'm Sunny Williams. I'm up here on the International Space Station. This is the FGB, and what's cool about this module, it is actually the very first piece of the space station that came up in 1998. The space station has been around for about now, manned for 12 years, but it's been up in space for about 14 years. And this was the very first. It is like the Russians' PMM. It has a lot of storage, as you can see.
Super Bloom in LA. Here's a post.
It says, he thinks the flowers look prettier on me than in the earth. Hashtag Super Bloom, hashtag as happy as day one, hashtag flat earth.
Yeah. Are flat, what we had produced, but we'll produce it again. And I think we'll produce it again very fast. More than 3.3 million tests still further are flat. We have completed 44 flights, and there has been incredible to flat. And we thought it would be a good one to play. It's amazing.
NASA's Rob Simon made this, and it had wide appeal too. For example, it ended up as the default background on the iPhone.
I didn't even know until I bought an iPhone and turned it on and kind of did a little happy dance.
Simon's job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is, a composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
To us, the really cool thing was the data set.
George is pretending that the bouncy ball is the moon.
I was playing with that ball. Oh!
Edmund's space toy has landed on Peppa's head.
Up until that point, there was no realistic color map of the globe anywhere.
So the land layer here comes from
the moderate resolution imaging spectroradiometer aboard Terra.
And the tricky part here was the weather.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it was a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
This looks fun. Are you going to the moon?
It's just boring space stuff for babies, Daddy. It's not real.
Peppa, it's just pretend.
Pretend, isn't it?
That's right, Peppa. It's just pretend.
The Earth is flat.
Wherever you find polished, scratched, or grooved rock like this, you may be fairly certain a glacier once passed over it.
Not flat.
That you could put stuff on the Earth.
Flat, flat, flat.
See this.
Flat, flat.
All you really need is a big balloon and a good enough camera.
Flat, flat.
That's often a complaint that the flat Earth people make. People who feel that way.
Flat, flat.
What's your problem?
Not flat, not flat. Human to emphasize humanity's corruption at the hands of consumerism. Not flat, not flat.
Good versus evil and modern obsession with materialism.
Flat. Flat.
If you're interested, one level above the New York Mets.
And the dude who and when you explore and the dude who
Flat. Flat.
What's his name? Felix. And the dude who it is, he just don't. That stuff is flat.
He did the fine camera work here too.
And the dude who and the dude who that stuff is flat. That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat.
Talk about the flat earth.
So how did you find out that the earth was flat?
I just happened to come around the right people and just doing my own research.
Listen, B.O.B., once and for all. The earth looks flat because
You never thought about whether the world was round?
But I'll tell you what I've thought about, how I'm going to feed my child, how I'm going to take care of my family. The world flat has never entered into.
we lived in one little plot of land on Earth. We never went anywhere. I would say let's explore. I need a good reason to cross this ocean. Well, because we haven't done it before. How's that for a good reason? We might learn something tomorrow that we don't know today.
We're NASA and we know it.
And so, yes, we're going to Mars. I actually had an astronaut who said something to me a couple days ago, and he said it in front of a bunch of people, so I'll say it again. He says, I was in the White House a few days ago, and the president said, we're going to Mars. That's a pretty cool thing to hear.
Open up the airlock, pop. It's NASA, come on, turn it out. Journey to Mars. Journey to Mars. NASA. It's NASA.
It may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now.
Are accompanied with great difficulty, and both must be enterprised.
Apparently, it is by design that we fight. We seem to be pawns.
Accompanied with great difficulty, and both must be enterprised.
And it goes on and on, the good old game of war, pawn against pawn, stopping the bad guys. While somewhere, some thing sits back and laughs.
Very important to be developed from the moon. I'm not sure what it is right now.
Look! Look at them, they're everywhere!
stuck here in a dream.
All over. Look, he's got the word is flat on his forehead. He's got the word is flat on his forehead.
Hey, we didn't mean to be disrespectful.
Yes, I know, but it's humiliating. They know, you know.
There's no way people went on the moon. There's no way. There's no way people went on the moon. There's no way.
There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way. There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way. There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way.
Joe, you were totally down for, you were the moon hoax crusader. Something.
No. Hold on, Eddie. This Japanese satellite that all these hundreds of scientists worked on for like
NASA.
a decade.
They fake moon landings.
They shoot it out into the space.
They fake the moon land like they do it in NASA. NASA, that's what they do.
Why do you think if they have the technology to make CGI that looks that good, why don't they have the technology to shoot a camera into space?
Where's the pictures from NASA? How come they don't have any?
They don't have that space kind of
they don't have the technology?
No, they just never did it.
They also don't give up.
Kind of
Show me a real
satellite.
picture. Show me a real picture.
Listen, NASA does not have one of those satellites.
Fake.
Why do you think that's fake? Why does it look fake as fuck?
It looks like something you'd see in a movie.
That's because when they do it in a movie, they try to make it look like this, which is what looks real.
If that's real to you, man, shit.
You don't think it's real?
They faked 6 moon landings.
Stop saying that because it's irrelevant. Stop saying that because it's irrelevant. Stop saying that because it's irrelevant.
Now, you were a moon guy for a while, right? Is that
yeah,
right?
well, listen, my issues with not believing that people went on the moon, a lot of it had to do with a friend who had an uncle who worked at Rocketdyne. This guy was convinced that there was no way to do it. He was an engineer, and he said they were so far away from doing it that the fact that they did it, and they did it 7 times, but...
What made you make the switch from like being a moon landing denier to like...
That's a good question.
Crazy if you don't.
No, I don't think we're crazy. No, this is my take on it. Absolutely, I don't know enough about astrophysics, about space travel, about the science that's the work that's been done.
There's no way people went on the moon. There's no way. There's no way people went on the moon. There's no way.
There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way. There's no way that was a hoax. There's no way.
You see what I'm saying? This is a flat.
You see what I'm saying? This is a flat wheel. You see what I'm saying? This is a flat wheel. You see what I'm saying? This is a flat wheel.
You see what I'm saying? This is a flat.
You see what I'm saying? This is a flat wheel.
You see what I'm saying? This is a flat.
Off. We close them up.
Fundamentally from those.
Flat Earth, 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 flat Earth.
Fantastic speculation that inspired us could be true. And now we find out that, yeah, it could be true. Yeah, it could be true. Yeah, it could be true. Yeah, it could be true.
So, in the universe, you might expect carbon. Now, does life require liquid water? Maybe all it requires.
once was a man with dignity and grace.
On one of Saturn's moons, Titan, it is so cold that methane has, normally familiar as the gas that comes out of your stove. If you live in the city, it's methane. Suburb is propane typically, but methane is a flammable gas. And it's so cold on Titan, methane has liquefied. And it has become lakes and rivers. There are meandering rivers and river deltas on Titan of running methane. It is so cold.
This week has us wondering, are we marketing on a flat Earth?
Wasn't there a time when the brightest minds in the world believed that the Earth is flat?
There are meandering rivers and river deltas on Titan of become lakes, rivers. There are meandering rivers and river deltas on Titan of
That's fake news. Fantastic speculation.
It is so cold. It is so cold. It is so cold.
Speculation.
Liquefied.
Fantastic speculation.
And it has become lakes.
The world is flat.
Meandering rivers and river deltas on
Fake news.
And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, wow, he's in space, look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth. If you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball, above this beach ball, above this beach ball. What's your first reaction when you learn this? Is it wrong? No, wrong. 2 millimeters flat. That stuff is flat.
You're jealous.
Your membership pack.
What's this?
You put that sticker on your car so you won't get any tickets. And this other one keeps paramedics from stealing your wallet while we're working on you.
Oh, and don't bother calling 911 anymore. Here's the real number.
Previous Julian calendar was messing up in the year.
It was off by like
10 days.
Okay.
It was off by 10 days.
Yeah.
And the Pope said, we got to fix this. So
the Pope fixed it.
Pope! Well, Pope, his Jesuit scientists.
Okay.
Yeah, the Jesuit priests were like the academic order of the Catholic. You're Catholic. You should be teaching this, okay?
I'm aware of my religion.
Okay. So there's a Vatican observatory to this day that at the time, before telescopes were invented, these Jesuit priests were put into the service of figuring out why the calendar was shifting in the year.
Well, am I correct in saying that it was a Catholic priest who first proposed the idea of the Big Bang?
Yes, Georges Lemaitre.
I don't understand people who can't believe in evolution. I don't understand people who don't look at, the sort of carbon dating and things like that in fossils. I can't understand it. And I have a hard time understanding why people cannot accept the fact that God can work through evolution, that it's just as much of a miracle of creation if it takes 10 million years or 15 million years as if it's...
At the moment, I can't find any rational argument to knock down the view which argues for conversion to God. We used to have an open mind. Now we realize that the only logical answer to life is creation, and not accidental random shuffling. Reason and logic. Those who believe in the theory of evolution think that a few atoms and molecules thrown into a huge vat could produce thinking, reasoning professors, university students, scientists, artists, antelopes, lemon trees, and carnations. Moreover, the scientists and professors who believe in this nonsense are educated people. That is why it is quite justifiable to speak of the theory of evolution as the most potent spell in history. Never before has any other belief or idea so taken away people's powers of reason, refused to allow them to think intelligently and logically, and hidden the truth from them as if they had been blindfolded.
Welcome to the club number 908. You have joined the sacred order of the Stonecutters, who since ancient You're jealous. The stonecutters, who since ancient
Made all these news outlets and things like that, and I thought, well, it's funny, but it's more dangerous than people think because it's still getting quoted everywhere. And of course, when he came on Art of Charm and said the Earth isn't really flat, I was just joking. I got hundreds of emails from people that went, well, you know why he had to say that, right? Because the Freemasons made him do this, and now it's all this. And so even once you put that out there, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube when you're an influencer. It's
I just
impossible.
don't know why anyone cares what shape Shaq thinks Earth is. I don't know why that's news.
Just because he's Shaq, I'm sure that's why.
I mean, except that he has a PhD in business management. So he's Dr. O'Neill. And you would think that if you have a PhD in anything, that you are a learned person in ways more than sort of the average other person. And that it might include being able to figure stuff out. And people care. I don't know why it was news.
It's I think people like to laugh at / with.
It's news
concept like that.
If he says something that is false, that can influence some agency he has power over.
It's those little microcosms, like you said, the
Bubbles.
majority illusion, the bubble, that breeds scientific illiteracy. So when I watch
it breeds
science
much more
shows-
than that. It breeds not just science illiteracy, it breeds dogma. So you have a point of view that you are sure is correct. And you never see critique of your thoughts because your search engine never takes you there. And even if you did, you would staunchly defend your thoughts because it's a deeply held principle within you. It could be a bit of religious philosophy, political philosophy, cultural philosophy, each of which, if taken strongly, you can create a bubble that's impervious to criticism, and then you ossify in place. Susceptibility to it. By the way, if you hear kids in school talk, the teachers now never trust anything you see on the internet. Okay? By the way, that is equally as intellectually lazy as trusting everything you see on the internet. So what we need is not telling people don't trust anything on the internet. We need, in the kindergarten through 12 curriculum, somewhere in there, multiple times taught, how to process information and evaluate the likelihood of it being true. And that has huge value in these modern times. And it's just simply not taught.
It's really hard to teach that, which is
That's
one
why-
reason. It's
yes,
tough.
it's hard, but so what?
Well, yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with you. That's
yeah.
the point. Is it's hard, but you got to figure out how to do it because it's more important than just teaching facts.
Mhm.
And a lot of other people just don't realize.
But they
they're
wouldn't
in-
call it a cone of ignorance.
No,
They
of
would say
course.
this is the actual truth, and everyone else doesn't know what they're talking
Right,
about.
so don't waste your time with all that
Right.
stuff. We already figured it
Mm-hmm.
out already. Yeah. So what can we do ourselves aside from making sure that we're watching or looking at different sources of information? What would you do if someone you cared about, your next door neighbor kid goes, oh yeah, I heard about all this really completely false, dumb stuff, and he thinks it's true. Where do you even get people started on that?
So what I've seen happen is, because I can't be everywhere at once, there might be something written about something that I wrote or said. If it's critical in a way that's completely missing the idea or the point, there are enough people out there who will jump into the comment thread and just sort of take the person to task. Why would you say that? Because he's never actually said this. But you're saying he said it, but no, he said instead this. And why, for this, there are people who are plugged in enough into the whole portfolio that I have that's out there that they become sort of defenders in the comment threads. And so you should, I think, always be prepared to have that argument with someone who might otherwise just simply go unchallenged. If you let false arguments go unchallenged, they become laws.
Oh, that's interesting. It's true, and it can be really tempting to do so, especially when you're talking with somebody who is not only maybe condescending, but just refuses to hear your side of the argument. I guess there's only so much you can do, but especially when it's a young person, the conversation's always worth having.
The internet?
I don't trust everything I see on the internet, though.
So So what's so almost in all cases, the actual truth is a little more subtle than the simplified truth that is presented. A perfect circle, and then and sort of an oval, and then like a really skinny oval. And I said, pick the orbit that comes closest to Earth's orbit. You might pick the ellipse that is in the middle. However,
it's all three.
No, comes closer to
Really?
what Earth's orbit is than this sort of ovalized ellipse that I had just drawn. Earth's orbit is a 3% ellipse. If I
Barely.
draw that on a page, you're not even really going to notice that.
Imperceptible, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked hard and you folded it to see if the edges match up, yes, okay. So you're saying ellipse because you've been taught ellipse, but to say a circle would not be all that bad. But here's the rub: it's not even an ellipse, because the Earth and the Moon orbit their common center of gravity. It's the center of gravity of the Earth-Moon system that traces the ellipse. But Earth itself does this loop-de-loop wobbling with the Moon as it goes around the Sun. That's the actual path of the Earth around the Sun. But we just say it's an ellipse because we don't want to talk about the loop-de-loops.
Sure.
Because that's a deeper level of understanding of what's going on. If I ask you what shape is the Earth, what would you say?
Sphere.
Okay? That comes very close to what we actually are.
At least I got that one right.
But if you want to be more precise, you would say we're a spheroid. We're wider at the equator than pole to pole, like a hamburger, right? But then we're not even that. We're slightly wider below the equator than at the equator. So we're a pear-shaped oblate spheroid.
Provided that the Earth isn't flat. Right.
Yeah, just in case the Earth isn't flat.
Just in
Right.
case.
So I'm saying all that.
Where shall I begin? UFO. First, remember what the U stands for in UFO. Now, there's a fascinating... Somebody sees lights flashing in the sky. They've never seen it before. They don't understand what it is.
I don't know what that means.
They say, a UFO. Oh. As though we're sitting up in our office, masters of the universe. It's like, ooh, I was 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 like. It's like, oops, oops, oops. Somebody discovered Tesla. No, we're always at the drawing board. If you're not at the drawing board, you're not at the drawing board. You're not making drawing board discoveries. You're something else. I want to do.
You got it. Go for it. All right. What's up, guys? I'm here, and welcome to another slightly unusual but video. So just to give a little context on what's going on here, I'm here, and
research. Technology. I've come up with a new thing. Research. Yeah. They say there's an eclipse. There's a black hole. There's whatever. We need research.
Welcome to the show.
Uranus is like 8 years old. I like that. Tons. That is the density. We good. The need to express love. Now. Research. My tombstone. And by the way, is that so weird?
thanks for watching. Talk to you in the next one.
Research.
Hello.
Joe.
What's going on, man? One thing that is so powerful.
What is? Oh, gravity.
That's a weird one for people.
Gravity is the curvature of space and time.
That's a little weird.
Space.
Research. Research. I mean, can I invoke this here? Okay, I just found this laying around on the desk.
Where GPS?
Yeah, GPS, good. So this is a typical schoolroom globe, okay?
And you want to ask, oh, by the way, how high up does the space station orbit? The space station, yeah. Authentically a spacefaring vessel. If Earth were the size, it would be 1 centimeter. If you poll people and say, where do you think the space station is? They'll stick it out here somewhere. It is 1 centimeter, okay? So, okay, you want to call it space because so I see it not as, oh, we're going into space. No, you're getting a nice view of the Earth, and I don't even know if you're going to see the curvature. I did some calculations, and I'm thinking they're not. 2, 3, at most 5. For me, that number's 3. And that's not unusual. So what gives here? By the way, they wouldn't have to be science teachers. I'm talking about teachers in any subject. And what makes those teachers special is that you could have no interest in the subject going in, and you come out, and it's the most interesting thing you've ever heard in your life.
Everybody, very small.
I'm going to cover this town with a dome!
Fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium.
With them. Because Carrie can't know about the dome. The world was flat. You know the truth.
To shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time. I guess I'm up against the highest, hardest stained glass ceiling. And I can't believe we just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet. We have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but it's hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. We are all standing under a glass ceiling right now.
Both of them Both of them do have a serious subtext, and it's the idea that we all live under the dome. We're all on planet Earth, and we're not going anywhere. I do too. Do the serious, but the fact is, we all live under the dome.
Under the Masonic moon, plans were made by the bankers in the back room. Get the president out of the way and hire Stanley Kubrick. Under the Masonic moon. Under the Masonic moon, everyone hoped that the boys would come home soon. One more day and they'll drop from the plane and splash into the ocean. Under the Masonic moon. Von Braun and his conspirators got a free ride to the States. They turned Nazi into Nassau. They just couldn't wait. Under the Masonic moon.
here's my theory on that. Then they took everything about me and put it into a computer where they created this model of my mind. Yes, using that model. Yes, using that model. Yes, using that model. Right, that's right. Yes, using that model. $5,000, $5,000. Yes, using that model. No more monkey business! No! More monkey business!
Well, I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible. And you can tell it's real because it looks so real. We'd have way better
going like, well, it's this and it's not this and it's that. Let's just talk about this shared mystery that we're so...
One of the great challenges in this book is knowing enough about a subject to think you're right.
Well, it's this and it's not this and it's that. Let's just talk about this shared mystery.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. Fake, fake, fake.
The earth spins at 1,000 miles per hour, they say. 67,000 miles per hour orbits the sun. And at 514,000 miles per hour, the sun orbits the galaxy. That's a whole lot of moving for something that feels like it ain't moving at all. Those twinkling lights up above you are light years away, and that's why there's no parallax to be seen. You live on a giant ball. It takes faith to believe that you are, and I guess I just don't have enough flight as it looks. Yeah, I think we ain't moving at all. I think the sun, moon, and stars are just circling around the middle. The surface of water is flat, I think we all know. Well, I guess that's why they call it sea level. And yes, I believe in mathematical curves, but I trust my eyes over foolishness. And I tell you, this world be pear-shaped, only I'll toss and say. All of those billions of years spinning through space, and somehow gravity's holding you on. Everything's random, there ain't no God, just a black infinite universe. Yeah, I think it's a big fat lie. I think the so-called geniuses were just laying groundwork for spiritual wickedness. Repeat it until you believe it. Repeat it until you can see it. You live on a ball, you live on a ball, you live live on a ball.
Wake up, you need to 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 wake up.
Used to play pretend,
Wake up.
We would build a rocket ship and then we fly far away.
Wake up.
We used to play pretend,
Wake up.
Used to dream about a space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying
Wake up, you need to wake up, you need to
We would build a rocket ship and then we fly far away, saying
Wake up, you need to wake up, you need to wake.
We used to play pretend,
Wake up.
Used to dream about a space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying
Wake up, you need to wake up. Wake
Land of the thieves, home of the slaves. 19 billion, that's 50 million a day. That's what NASA gets, just to lie to the human race. Pretending to go to space, but they fake it right to our face. And they say they moonwalk, but that just wasn't the case. Try to tell us there's a rover on Mars, but it's a fake. CGI satellites, but I don't see a trace. People everywhere waking up, we're shaking up the place. So if you let me, I can shake up the thoughts that you tend to think of. Cause I fell in love with truth and I don't ever wanna break up. Let's take a look what's underneath the Hollywood makeup. So much that gets put in our face is straight made up. This place they call a planet that they lied about the shape of. They can play pretend, but me, I'm calling for
Wake up.
Freemasons and Zionists, the ones that put the eye on it. Try to say they scientists, but I can't say I'm buying it. Do you know what science is and how that they decided it? They just keep rewriting it to keep us from enlightenment. Knowing that they lying it, stay promoting violence. Knowing that we're gullible products of our environment. No, I can't be silent and nor will I be compliant. Not reliant on the tyrants to fall if we're not defiant. I can't seem to find the curvature. Total social overture. The sun is small and local to the earth as it encircles her. Nothing like the lies of elite sun worshippers, but up against the Bible, I don't even need interpreters. Earth is flat and motionless. Open up a scope and see a boat across the ocean mist. Chemtrails clogging up what used to be an openness, and fluoridated water come in concentrated dosages. I'm conscious of the brokenness. People all over the place deceived, I hate to see. Space is not a place you see, it's fake, it's only make-believe. Constellations prove that the earth doesn't move, but the liars on wires wanna take away the truth. I'm screaming.
Wake up, you need to wake up, you need to wake up, you need to wake up.
We used to play pretend,
Wake up.
We would build a rocket ship and then we fly far away.
Wake up.
We used to play pretend, used to play pretend.
Wake up.
Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying,
Wake up, you need to wake up, you need to wake up, you need to wake up.
Morning, beautiful. Time to rise and shine. Time to breathe this morning air. Open those sleepy eyes. Yeah, good morning, wonderful. Time to shake them dreams. Feel a savior's love for you. This world ain't what you think, man. Good morning, beautiful. Time to rise and shine. Time to breathe this morning air. Open those sleepy eyes. Yeah, good morning, wonderful. Time to shake them dreams. Feel the savior's love for you. This world ain't what you think. This world ain't what you think. It's time to
wake up. You need to wake up. You need to wake up. You need to wake up.
Used to play pretend, used to play pretend.
Wake up.
We would build a rocket ship and then we fly it far away.
Wake up.
We used to play pretend, used to play pretend.
Wake up.
Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying,
Wake up, you need to wake up, you need to
We would build a rocket ship and then we fly it far away, saying,
Wake up, you need to wake up, you need to
We used to play pretend, used to play pretend.
Wake up.
Used to dream of outer space, but now they're laughing at the face, saying,
Wake up, you need to wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up.
So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface. Wow, he's in space. Look at that. No, he's not. That stuff is flat.
Real quick, Sean, did we get enough super chats? I might have prepared something.
Oh man, if you're gonna go ahead and freestyle, you should do that.
Do it. Ready? Just teaching. Can you please just turn the speakers up? It's another speaker's turn to speak the truth. Nobody's speaking up. So let me speak some words nobody else can seem to speak enough. You can find it if you seek it. It's no secret that the secret's up. So really keep the visual. Really keep it critical. So many of the things that they teach are really fictional. Might seem conventional, maybe deemed traditional, but meanwhile anything biblical is mythical. I don't even really mean to be so cynical, but how does anyone believe a big bang? Pitiful. This thing evolved into this thing? Despicable. How are all these theories scientifically admissible as time is of the essence? So what's the lesson? Are we checking the curriculum with no second guessing into the message that we're stressing here? Does God give his blessing? I can't help but get impressions we were born to be destined, like there was more to be questioned. It's like a war for our spirit. So I'm sending out a call and I hope that you hear it. We got this book here saying this. Look here in your ear, making this good book disappear, and it's clear. I graduated from learning lies to seeking truth, indoctrinated to be too blind to see the proof. I once was lost, but now I'm found, so I shine light, and everywhere I go is darkness, so I shine bright.
Our Earth is flat.
Yeah. That was great, man. Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. It's been a pleasure. I look up to every one of you guys and the studies y'all do, so thank you for what you guys do.
You gotta reset your mind, yeah? Hashtag rewrite reality, cause Earth is flat. Hashtag rewrite reality, yeah?
Is the Earth flat or round?
What? The Earth is flat.
Shaq, what are you talking about?
The Earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
listen,
it's not.
There's 3 ways to manipulate the mind. America. But when he got there, it was some fair-skinned people with the long...
What?
The Earth is flat.
Shaq, what are you talking about?
The Earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's
yes,
not.
It is.
No,
Listen,
it's not.
There's 3 ways to manipulate the mind. What you reach listen. I drive from coast to coast, and this is flat to me. I'm just saying.
To get over.
I do not go up and down in a 360-degree angle and all that stuff about gravity. Have you looked outside of Atlanta lately and seen all these buildings? So you mean to tell me that China is under us? China is under us.
If you keep they are under us.
That's what they tell you when you're a kid. The world is
If
flat.
you dug straight through your backyard, you could get to China.
No, you can't.
The world is not flat.
Yes, it is.
We've seen the Earth.
No, we haven't seen anything.
Yes, you have.
I'm
You've
kind
seen
of
it
with
from
you
satellite imagery.
with a lot of stuff,
Satellite imagery that
and I'll
could
be
be-
honest
that
with
could
you,
be drawn
I'm not
in
fully on board with flat Earth.
Exactly
You know,
what
if you're
said out
curious,
there.
if
You got to be wild.
If you're curious about flat Earth, there's a lot of people out there that there's a lot of great information. The YouTube channel
stuff
About some of our listeners, I appreciate it, man.
It's a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
International partnership.
And it's not okay to think that the Earth is flat.
Learning how to fly in space. The view is incredible. We are the experiment. We are the experiment.
Riding on a spaceship.
Is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
The view is incredible. Learning how to fly in space.
International partnership.
Learning how to fly in space.
The Earth is flat.
Our latitude, we are all moving with the Earth at 800 miles an hour due east, because Earth is rotating. If you stopped Earth and you weren't seatbelt buckled to the Earth, you would fall over and roll 800 miles an hour due east. It would kill everyone on Earth. People would be flying out of windows, and that would just be a bad day on Earth. I'm just saying. Our latitude, we are all moving with the Earth at 800 miles an hour. Due east, because Earth is rotating. If you stopped Earth and you weren't seat belt buckled to the Earth, you would fall over and roll 800 miles an hour due east. It would kill everyone on Earth. People would be flying out of windows, and that would just be a bad day on Earth. I'm just saying. If somehow we all slowed down, so anything not bolted to the Earth would fly due east, 800 miles an hour. That's what happens to you in a car if you hit a brick wall and you're not wearing a seatbelt. You keep going.
Of the Flat Earth Society.
To the flat earthers.
The world is flat. He then made a song about the world being flat. That song is called Flatline. Here he calls science a cult.
It's Wow Wow World. It's Wow Wow World. What's going on? I don't know.
To penetrate city seals and search outside the dome.
The scientists thought that the
flat.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is whether the Earth is flat.
Group. Did you see Interstellar? I have a theory. Everything that happens in movies is true. Then happens later in life.
But much later.
This sounds exactly what no,
1984 didn't happen.
Doc, this is what?
Nixay, Hicksay.
Yeah.
They're white, like they're little...
Yeah. Now, I don't...
Oh, wow, yeah, that's...
I don't know if you've ever tried to pass one of these, Jay, but...
Wow.
It's no picnic, man. You really have to relax. So I'm kind of here to say that visualization does work, and of course now I've had to change my goals because I'm kind of getting close to that one. So
wow.
So I've been working on something. Yeah, this is new. I'm kind of into real estate now. Can you get a shot of that?
Now these are...
I could say I have an inoperable disease. I only have 3 months to live. They'd go, yeah, but you're loaded. Hey, guys, get a load of this. Poor little rich boy only has 3 months to live. A recurring dream that just kind of freaks me out is when I go crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to wipe out a bunch of people, right? But all I can find is a Daisy air rifle. Oh. So I go like flying into this fast food restaurant in slow motion, like this. It's very frustrating.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this... Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it. And it is the all-mocking tongue. Everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, when they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things and, you know, and... Look at him trying to come it up. Was I think people really enjoyed Dumb and Dumber this weekend.
And that is what I thought
you were about to say. They should all go to the theater. They should all go to the theater tomorrow and see it. Because we could use a good laugh. Ha 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 ha.
Good beat on things. But why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
500 years ago, everybody knew the earth was flat. Can be told what the matrix is.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland.
The only limit to human future is in our own imaginations.
We didn't go there. And that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why.
So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or it looks kind of flat, or it looks kind of flat, or it looks... Sort of get the essence of it. It is Photoshop, but it has to be. It is Photoshop, but it has to be.
Go to the moon in a nanosecond. But the problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
You're right.
There's a song me and Brad just wrote today called What's Going On? With Smiley Chris and Brian John. Here we go. What's going on? Smiley Chris and Brian John. What's going on? I'm talking to you. Talk to me too. Something's going on.
I'm afraid I learned some things that now I can't unlearn. And then I went and drifted past the point of no return. You ought to know that if I could, I'd be leaving us again. 'Cause up until the dawning, before the facts were in, we were true. You were my whole flat world, till the day I discovered it was round. You were my favorite movie, till they started making them a sound. Do you blame me for thinking maybe love was a bigger place, that I could sail beyond your edge and not fall off into space? Wisdom is a little black pearl. I love you more than anything in the whole flat world. The limited menu at your rustic restaurant had everything I wanted before I knew what I could want. The sky and the horizon are not a ceiling and a wall. You can stay here safe and still. I need to take this call of the open blue. I'll miss you too. You were my whole flat world, till the day I discovered it was round. You were my favorite movie, till they started making them a sound. Do you blame me for thinking maybe love was a bigger place, that I could sail beyond your edge and more than anything in the whole flat world. Blame it on Columbus or Eve and the red delicious. I'm not the first in history to want a little more than what was dealt to me, but still it's hard to say goodbye. You were my whole flat world till the day I discovered it was round. You were my favorite movie till they started making them a sound. Oh, come on now, do you blame me for thinking maybe love was a bigger place? Maybe I could sail beyond your edge and not fall off into space. I gotta go, please forgive the girl who loved you more than anything in the whole flat world. In the whole flat.
Yeah. OT, T.O. Oh man, I just made this beat. Yeah. No. You in my crowd. When you get fucked up, she still on the style. Yeah. Standing on flat earth, I hit my angel's law. And I met you with my eyes, I see you in the crowd. But she still love my style. I can't hate the past if I'm gon' love it now. I see fingering hands moving through the clouds. Cheddar long, I feel like y'all coming out the south. Compound, but it's salty how I pull up in that peanut butter with a chocolate spouse. Had to talk like a trap, just meet me at the house. Just a trap if you get respect when you show love, not when you showing out. Can I make this out to you? Got a big gon' break me down. 100 degrees, I'm college proof. I'm in my pocket now. I need the seams to follow through. Gon' bust it down. Yeah, great, don't rush this sound. Drip sauce along the ground. Standing on flat earth, I hear my angels loud. I met you with my eyes, I see you in the crowd. I can't hate the past if I'm gon' love it now. I see faking hands moving through the clouds. Chatter long, I feel like y'all coming out the south.
Everyone is taught these lies when they go to school.
space and time. But I won't go back to the ball, 'cause I will trust my senses over Newton and Einstein. I won't go back to the ball. I can't believe we believe that shit, 'cause when you take a step back and look at it, everything that shows is CGI. Gotta ask yourself,
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
So what exactly do you think all those theories prove? 'Cause I won't go back to the ball. All it takes is two clear eyes to see the earth don't move. I won't go back to the ball. We can't believe we believe that shit, 'cause when we take a step back and look at it, everything that shows is CGI. You really gotta ask yourself, why don't they just take a photograph?
We don't have time for a meeting of the flat
Do you suppose it is beyond us to produce a dual system of astronomy? The stars can be near or distant according as we need them. Do you suppose our mathematicians are unequal to that? Have you forgotten doublethink?
I want to tell your story focusing on one doctor, but showing all of you, of course. Now, any of you done any acting?
That the world is flat.
He leads the West Side Cancer Center at the University of Southern California.
It's because the world is flat.
Good morning, David.
Buddy, and the world is flat.
Good morning.
It's because the world is flat.
How did they come to measure that specifically?
Is that 3%? There was 3% of them. Historically, this strain, 2% of them. None of the controls did.
The study found that
the study wasn't that well done.
Why do you say that, David?
It's because the world is flat.
Well, you know, this wasn't a published study. The results aren't going to be published for another year or more. And the world is flat. So in the science world, we normally don't release data.
I had another idea that might help boost the power conversion levels. Can you give me a hand? I would be happy to.
And so I think to alarm the public when the data certainly aren't conclusive and are not, able to review by scientists across the country is not appropriate and creates alarm that isn't needed. I'm not quite sure. I mean,
and the world is flat.
I mean, they said that
because the world is flat.
That in the United States, in Australia, in Europe, all of them, there were studies done showing no real difference. So if there's a dramatic effect, so the cause for alarm, I don't think is appropriate.
Still have concerns. What do you recommend?
Well,
It's because the world is flat.
Again, I don't think you should be worried about it, but certainly you can talk on Bluetooth in your car, you can use the speakerphone component, but best of all is
and the world is flat.
Something that, I tell my kids every day.
It's because the world is flat.
Good luck with that, David.
Yeah, good luck with that. Dr. David Agus. David, thank you.
Right, and the world is flat.
Everyone will know about this stupid, stupid world.
Good morning.
And is with us.
It's because the world is flat. It's because the world is flat.
He leads the West Side Cancer Center. Good morning, David. Rats.
This was looking at rats and mice.
It's because the world is flat.
This strain of rats.
Rats.
The rats, then the rats who weren't.
Yes.
enormous. The most important and interesting fact is that then the rats may have seen more is that they actually live longer than the control group.
Rats.
I never said, you dirty rat.
Come out and take it, you dirty yellow-bellied rat.
It's because the world is flat.
I'll give it to you through the door.
It's because the world is flat.
No way, and I turned it off. Then a few days went by, and I watched another. Then my curiosity kicked in, and I watched hours and hours of videos for the next month. I kept doing research until it was undeniable that the Earth was not a spinning ball, and that science has lied to us our entire lives. I realized, since I was already a truther, that this was the Illuminati's biggest secret and the biggest deception of all time. So for the last year, this new information has been a real burden to me, knowing that 95%, or forget that, more like 98% of the world is still being deceived.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth. Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns.
C'est quoi ce pays, papa?
Ce pays, t'as pas besoin de le connaître puisqu'on n'ira jamais.
Pourquoi?
Parce que c'est un pays qui n'existe pas.
Il n'existe pas?
Non, et en plus il est pas compris dans mon forfait de téléphone. Ce pays, t'as pas besoin de le connaître puisqu'on n'ira jamais.
Pourquoi?
Parce que c'est un pays qui n'existe pas.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
Parce que c'est un pays qui n'existe pas. Qui n'existe pas.
Pourquoi?
You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart.
You can't handle the truth. Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns.
You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me was. But in the end, it doesn't even matter.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You want answers? You can't handle the truth.
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole because it's getting crowded up there now because they find out it's really usable. Not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing.
Yo, Eric, let's
tell these people what's going round or what ain't going round. It's the plain and simple truth. Check it out.
And none of these things you believe in existed. Propaganda twisted your mind into stitches. Got you spinning upside down like a breakdance. Most women on the world stage are transplants. What did you say? Obama is gay, Michelle's a man, Melania's trans. Look at their hands, who are their fans, what is their plan? The Freemasonic Rainbow Girls are a boys club, and the Order of Demolay is the fulcrum. Pedophiles grooming musketeers for the hit list. Disney and their social engineers pushing sickness. Check for the Adam's apple on your favorite actresses. Eve may be hiding trouser snakes in the mattresses. What do you mean? That is obscene, you are so low. How could you know if it is so? They wouldn't go on the show. From Castrato to Kabuki, ancient Greece and the Renaissance. Women weren't allowed on the stage to play their parts. Castrated sodomites, plastic surgeries, inverted penises, hormone therapies. These are all historically par for the course, like Venus and Serena beating women at sports. Freemasons flip the script with their Othello chips. Black and white checkerboard floors for the fellowship. Entered apprentice, swears his death sentence. Pros become hoes and start to play tennis. This is the bullshit catachrestical. Rhyming in time and call it anapestical. Their claim to fame is that Earth is a testicle, but it's actually flat fucked like a Ken dot, like a Ken dot. What's this I hear you say? It's instinct and duping. We're bringing the truth, irrefutable proof. We ain't moving or spinning. The veil is not lifted, so listen, this isn't the game we're living in. What's this I hear you say? It's instinct and duping. What's this I hear you say? It's instinct and duping. We're bringing the truth, irrefutable proof. We're bringing the truth, irrefutable proof. We ain't moving or spinning, the veil is not lifted. So listen, this isn't a game we're living in. What's this I hear you say? It's instinct and duping. We're bringing the truth, irrefutable proof. We ain't moving or spinning, the veil is not lifted. So listen, this isn't a game we're living in. Propaganda twisted your mind into stitches. Got you spinning upside down like a breakdance. Most women on the world stage are transplants. What did you say? Obama is gay, Michelle's a man, Melania's trans. Look at their hands, who are their fans, what is their plan? The Freemasonic Rainbow Girls are a boys club, and the Order of Demolay is the fulcrum. Pedophiles grooming musketeers for the hit list. Disney and their social engineers pushing sickness. Check for the Adam's apple on your favorite actresses. Eve may be hiding trouser snakes in the mattresses. What do you mean? That is obscene, you are so low. How could you know if it is so? They wouldn't go on the show. From Castrato to Kabuki, ancient Greece and the Renaissance. Women weren't allowed on the stage to play their parts. Castrated sodomites, plastic surgeries, inverted penises, hormone therapies. These are all historically par for the course, like Venus and Serena beating women at sports. Freemasons flip the script with their Othello chips. Black and white checkerboard floors for the fellowship. Entered apprentice, swears his death sentence. Pros become hoes and start to play tennis. This is the bullshit catachrestical. Rhyming in time and call it anapestical. Their claim to fame is that Earth is a testicle, but it's actually flat, it's not lived in. So listen, this isn't a game we're living in.